I'm at the TA truck stop in Effingham, Illinois. It snowed overnight when I was at the hotel. Fuel here is pretty expensive, $4.02, but I think I'd pay after our discount probably, I don't know, $3.80, $3.75. I did not call that fuel line. But now I was able to see my fuel mileage, because this is the distance in miles, 1023, from here to the Santa Rosa TA, where I filled up last time. So 1083, and the tanks took, get this, 185 gallons. So 1023 miles divided by 185 is 5.52973. You know what I want to say, right? But I'm not going to say it. This is parental guidance is not advised. This is supposed to be a clean channel, but I mean, something's going on with this truck lately. You know, either it's really there's too much stuff inside cylinders already because of that ACERT EGR thing. You know, all that stuff, it builds up inside. Maybe that's why I notice big improvements each time I use the Lucas upper cylinder lubricant, you know. But also it's winter, I don't know. But last time, once, I don't hold containers often, but once I had a container that I picked up in really bad weather in Edmonton, Alberta. And it was real heavy, probably, I don't know, 45,000 pounds. And back then I had just a regular tandem step deck. And it was, you know, it was of course sitting above my cab, right? Because it's taller than the cab, I think. Yeah, I did not have a deflector. And I remember that container, Jesus, it killed my fuel mileage. I don't even think I was getting 5, because it was really cold and I was going through northern Canada, you know, from Edmonton through Manitoba, Ontario. So I don't know, like this truck for some reason, it really does not like winter. And then of course if you look at the front, see like that front, right, of the container, it's a big flat surface, basically facing forward. So I don't know. But 5.5, you know, and this is an International 9400. Of course, it does not look as smooth as Cascadia next to me, or that ProStar. But I think we should get at least 6. Like, what the heck, you know? I'm trying a new dash cam today. It's made by Cobra. I don't know. The design looks good. But I thought I'd be using this feature where you can turn the camera onto yourself, but then each time you have to go in the menu and click rotate, otherwise it shoots you upside down, and it's not easy to move it. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to operate this thing. But at least my old, those little things on the window came in here, right? It comes with a power supply, which you know, favorably differentiates this from a GoPro, so you can charge this thing from inside the vehicle. But I chose a low quality. Actually, I like that it has that 480p. You can choose from 480p to 720 to 1080, but you know, I don't upload high-res videos to YouTube because they take forever, right? And you see the mic is on the side this way, so facing me. So I'm curious to see how it's going to work, how much noise it's going to capture when recording, because on the previous model the mic was facing the window. But this is still too close. I'd prefer it to be somewhere here. Well, we'll see. Time to rock and roll. Well, today is one of those days, you know. If you saw my previous vids, I'm kind of a freak a little bit about numerology, right? And today is February 2nd, 2014. Now, number 2, it's a very bad number in numerology. It means that this is the number when your ability to work well with others will be tested. So basically, you have to be, kind of like bow your head and take all the misfortunes, at the face value. Now, I bought the dash cam. I have no idea how it records yet, but my right windshield wiper doesn't want to work. That little connector that where the windshield washer goes keeps popping out. I think it's because of too much snow there, and it's too cold. It's like -7, 19F. I try to fix it, it keeps popping out. So because of that, my windshield on the right is all dirty. So no use in turning the dash cam on, because it will be catching all that dirt. Like the one on the left works, right? Check this out. See, the one on the left, like the driver's side, works. The passenger side, no. Secondly, I slept at the hotel and the truck was parked at the truck stop, right? And I did have a couple of small scratches in the windshield. Now I get in and there was some snow and some ice on the windshield, so I turn on my this mode, like towards the over here, the one on the right. Trying to heat up the windshield, and this stuff happens. Now I got a huge crack in the windshield from all these little things that I used to have before, right? And now it's like, I don't know. Over there it goes into the hood. It's like a snake, right? So now I have to replace my windshield. But if that was all, this movie would not be interesting, right? There's still another thing. I filled up at the TA, started driving, and all of a sudden I see like the boost on the turbo gauge goes through the roof, right? In my previous video, in the comments, I said that I want to try to, drive with different RPM settings, and I tried everything. I tried 1400, 1600, 1200 RPM, everything. Then finally, I had just to, bite the bullet and downshift into 8 low or gear 12, and I'm driving at 81 kilometers an hour, and my RPM is what, 1320, and I'm climbing a tiny hill here, and the boost is, you see that, right? Put in a full jug, 1 gallon of Lucas upper cylinder, injector cleaner and anti-gel, because I knew this would happen, like it would be cold, especially since I'm going to northern Michigan. And there's a strong side wind coming from, from this direction, kind of like from my, hitting my passenger side fender at an angle. And because I have that huge wall of a container, it just catches lots of wind, but still, that does not explain why the truck doesn't want to drive, like everybody's passing me. I don't know what's going on with this International. I think it's a bad fuel, because again, here at At the TA, it was biodiesel. I could tell by the greenish color of the diesel, right? And it's all biodiesel. And plus, they put it's diesel number 2 for winter, which has less energy than a regular diesel. And plus, they have all these, bio additives and stuff like that. I don't know. And then also, I think what's happening here with my engine is that it was dyno tuned by CAT a few times, right? And I know that my fuel settings are all pretty much maxed out. And it did help me with fuel mileage when I was loaded, like back then. But then I noticed that in winter the truck started taking more fuel. And I think I want to cancel that. I want to revert to default settings because now I have the harness, this power harness, and it has a dial, right? So I can choose when to use the power. But when they do it on the dyno, the guy gave me all horsepower at 1425 RPM instead of 1800 because that's what I wanted. I said, give me all the power and the cruising RPM, so that I don't have to shift. And of course he did that, but now that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, especially for winter, that's not a good idea to have all that fuel settings maxed out, So now I'm going to this Michigan shop to do that thing I wanted to do for a long time. And I'm going to ask them to reset my fuel settings. I think they can do that, right? In the computer, just give me back the original file, the same 550 force, 1850 torque. And then when I need extra power, I'll just use the harness, right? I'll just use this little dial here. See this one? And right now I just turn it to 0 because I think there's a conflict between that thing and the maxed fuel settings, maxed out fuel settings in the engine, and I think it's just too much basically, like everything is wide open and the engine is just throwing fuel down the pipe. So like I said, it's not a good day today. So I don't know how far I'll go at 81 kilometers an hour or 50 miles per hour, but I gotta be in northern Michigan by tomorrow morning. But finally something changed. I don't think the wind went down. I'm still driving at 81 k an hour, just slightly over 50, but I found that like this guy Mallinson, right, Bruce from Pittsburgh Power, he says try to play with your RPM. Don't look at your boost, just try to get a feeling what your engine likes in terms of RPM, versus road speed. And he says if you listen, the engine will tell you what its sweet spot is. And he was saying that sometimes it's not the lowest RPM that you would think. So what I find is that basically I was getting desperate. I didn't want to burn all that fuel I bought today, right? Almost $700 worth of fuel. So I started driving at some crazy RPM, 1600, 1700, still keeping the 8 low gear. So at one point I was doing 105 or 65 miles per hour in 8 low. And I think my RPM was like 1650. But because sometimes you have to really increase your RPM if you get some dirt on your injectors or something, or bad fuel, the high RPM kind of like blows everything out. And that's what happened after I did that. After I drove for a few minutes at a very high RPM, like even 1800, and went back to 1300, and that's what I feel the actual CAT says, right? Drive between 1300 and 1350 RPM. They do not say 1270 or 1280 like some guys do, and that's how I've been driving. They say the minimum is 1300, and turns out they're correct because my engine really seems to like 1300. And now the boost went down, at least closer to 10. That's like ideal. I know if I have 10 10 or less. Basically, when I'm totally empty, if I'm just dragging a trailer and I'm driving at the regular speed, my boost can be like 9 or 8. So I know that 10 or below is very good for fuel economy. So, but this thing in the morning was doing like 30, you know, just driving fucking 90 kilometers an hour, 56 miles per hour. So yeah, I think it's all fuel. You know, it's all fuel. Fuel clogs up your injectors, all these additives. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a research, and we're gonna include it in this video. I'll go to the TA Truck Stop website. I mean, TA Travel Centers of America website, and you can look up price for the fuel for every state and province. Well, they only have one TA in Canada, I think. Where is it? In Ontario, in Woodstock, but in the US they have a whole bunch of them, right? But I'm not interested in the price. What I want to do is I just want to see what kind of diesel they sell, because they will say, you know, biodiesel, or it'll say diesel number 2, and then I can compare to other stations in the same state, and because not all states in the US sell this freaking biodiesel, you know. I know for sure Illinois does, right? That's where I filled up today. But I know Michigan, I think Michigan and Indiana, for example, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, when you fuel up, you can see that the diesel is clear. It, you know, it looks right, like Russian vodka, like the way it's supposed to do, you know? Not tequila. Yeah, this one this morning, it looked like tequila, only greenish, you know? It should look like vodka or a rum, not like Captain Morgan, no, not like beer. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna include this in this video, and I'm gonna tell you guys what states you should stay away from when you have an older engine. Basically, stay away from ethanol and biodiesel. That's my personal opinion. You can never trust farmers to make diesel. I don't believe in that. I believe that every labor should be specialized. You know, if you're a brain surgeon, the more you do the more brain surgery you do, the better you become. But if you start doing everything else, like, you know, fixing your car, fixing the car of your neighbor, you know, fixing plumbing, you're not going to be a very good brain surgeon, you know. So you're going to be a specialist. So if you have a farmer, stick to farming, you know. Do not try to make fuel for transport trucks. End of rant. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. dash cam from Cobra. Mostly known for CB radios, which actually don't work too good.
Turn right, then keep left.
No, I'm just kidding. They work pretty well.
Interstate 70 eastbound towards Champaign.
Just trying to figure out how this mic, does it work? Is it recording? I don't know. The red dot on the screen is blinking. It's a really stupid camera, you know? Like, I'm trying to record myself. Okay, I can see myself. But the thing that's supposed to flip, it does not have any fixed positions. Jesus, I'm brain. Does not have fixed positions, like, you know, when you would think that it would lock like this. It moves like all over the place, you know? And then if you want to do like this, first of all, you know, it's the camera is pointing towards the road, right? I don't know, am I recording audio? Okay, yeah, there's a button here that cancels the mic. This is not good. And then okay, I can turn it back towards the road. And you've just seen the test footage from that dash cam, and you see there's nothing on my windshield, right? I took it off basically. The picture was unexpectedly great, you know. I was thinking the picture would be crap basically, but the design is kind of interesting. But you know, when you turn that camera, the part, it's not fixable. Like it does not has a stop, you know, so it keeps moving. And I find that in some of the shots in there, you can see that the camera shakes because it's not. They didn't think through that part at the bottom, and then it's so hard to turn it onto yourself, and then you have to play with the menus there. But the sound was great because you see the mic, they put the mic on the side of the thing, and so I know that I'm moving in the right direction. So basically I just have to find the same kind of design where the mic is on the side or facing me, but with a better picture. Because if you noticed, the picture was flickering, like not in terms of frames, but in terms of light. I think the sensor that, you know, that photo element that measures the lighting conditions, it was, I don't know, maybe because, no, I never had this with any other cam, even with the flip, but this one was just flickering. It was getting darker, lighter, kind of, you know. The sensor could not decide what the aperture and the shutter speed to use, you know. And basically I just took it back. I'm at the TA in where am I? Lake Station, Indiana. And because I have 10 days to exchange it or return it actually. But I need a dash cam, you know, like this flip, it's good when you do check out how much snow is here. This is near Chicago, of course, right? You know, the flip is good when you do these commentaries, but it has very shallow field. You see, it's very narrow field of view. It's not. That's why dash cams are great. But what I have here, check out the object appearing from the right. Is another toy we're gonna test, but I don't have time today because it's already getting dark, and I still have like 500 kilometers to go to the northern Michigan. But this, I don't know, what does that mean? Zoran chipset inside? Is that something to do with the Navy? I don't know. Yeah, see, it says here Zoran chipset inside. But 1080 Full HD. Comes with a HDMI cable and SD card. And I like this, 9 megapixel for pictures, which means that the sensor is pretty strong. So night recording, wide angle, 2.7 display, and it looks like this. You know, kind of like a traditional dash cam. Oh, and they even give you class 10 card. These guys are good, you know. Class 10, that's a pretty fast memory card, because you can get a cheap card and then, you know, it won't give you a good picture. So I don't know. It says here, the black box by Blue Tiger is your first line of defense in any event that puts your operation onto the shoulder. Huh. Interesting. North American Blue Tiger Company, Houston, Texas. An audio record on/off button, high quality night recording. So we're gonna try it, right? Because like I said, I was surprised that actually cam worked as well as it did. Like even that was 480p, and still the picture was pretty good, except that it was flickering. But it was actually better than my view, what I had on my view picture. You know, maybe the camera was just defective. These guys actually here, they had the same one, but I just, you know, I could have just did the exchange, but I was afraid maybe it's a defect of the entire model, you know. So we're gonna try this new one and see how this one looks.